Oh, you know that song.
What?
Love me. You know that song.
But where did it come from?
Well, 50 Shades of Grey.
Exactly. I didn't see it.
Me
I
neither.
read it. Did not see it. Anyway, we are diving into the world of literature and storytelling with a best-selling author known for her heartwarming and sizzling romance novels. Her Chestnut Springs series is a collection of small-town romances set in rural Canada, put her on the bestseller list. And she followed up with a new collection, the Rose Hill series, which features wild love and wild eyes.
Now she's taking readers on a walk on the wild side with her new novel, and we have the incredible pleasure of chatting with Elsie Silver this morning. So great to have you here, Elsie. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about, I guess, your books, because you've gone the gamut from romance to hot to steamy and so on and so forth, right? And they become wildly popular.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration, I guess, for the new one?
Yeah, the new one is obviously set in a small town. That's kind of my bread and butter.
Yeah.
The kind of rural life, that setting.
What is it about small towns?
Yeah, I think I grew up riding horses really competitively, and but I lived in the city. So to me, there was always something really romantic, I think, about going out into the country and spending that time, like the land and the people and the community. So there's, something about the setting that I'm definitely drawn to.
And how do you come up with your characters?
Yeah, I'm an active imagination. But I do, like, sometimes I'll write a side character and they'll kind of speak to me, and then that's someone I'll come back to. And I do a lot of, like, personality deep dives before I start writing. So Enneagram tests and, like, horoscope and anything I can kind of pull together to make them as well-rounded
Is
as I can.
anything ever based on somebody you know?
Ooh.
Or maybe a personal life experience?
Oh, yeah, I think there's, like, little threads of things that have happened here and there. Every now and then my mom's like, I told you that once. And I'm like, yes, your wisdom is popping up in these books still.
Great.
So tell us about the storyline for Wildside.
Okay, so Wildside is enemies to lovers. So they start off really disliking each other, but in the wake of her sister's passing and some contested custody sort of things going on, without spoiling anything, she ends up having to enter a marriage of convenience with this man who she knows very little about and who she dislikes, kind of to keep her nephew as safe as possible. And it all kind of unfolds from there.
So this is all part of a series, right? This book is?
Yes, this is the third book in a interconnected standalone series. So you kind of see snippets of these characters in past books, but each couple is their own kind of story.
So you don't have to read the first two to understand.
No, you don't have to.
Oh, they're standalone, which
But
is
you
great.
should.
Yeah, you should, because there's breadcrumbs. There's like, what's going on here? Or there's this scene that happens in a past book that also happens, but you see it from a different perspective.
So you should read them in order at least, though.
I would, that way I would.
You were a romance novel fan, I guess, before becoming a romance author yourself, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Was that when, as you were reading, I guess, kind of like your journey of becoming a reader to an author, where you were like, this is the genre I want?
Yeah, I mean, I was a huge reader, especially after the birth of my son, like late nights. I was, you're up and you're like, I'll just read while I feed a baby.
Is that what you did? Was I was doing it wrong?
Oh, no.
Wow. I was like, hold on a second.
So, yeah, I was, I was reading them before then, but that was when I was really, like, kind of taking the stories and being like, well, what if this happened and what if that happened? And the creative juices got going, and
Yeah. How did you become an author, though? How did you decide to jump into this? Or have you always written since even childhood?
I worked kind of in the literary field, but not as a writer, as an editor. And so I would say, like, I was a pandemic baby. Once we got locked in, I was like, I need to do something. And it was the perfect creative outlet to just draft that first book and do it for fun, is how it started.
But now you have such a huge fan following. What do you think of that?
Oh, it's like the most incredible blur of a trajectory. Yeah, it's surreal.
So much fandom that you even sold out an event pretty quickly at the Strand here in New York.
Huge.
Tell us about the
Yes,
event.
we love the Strand.
Yeah, we love them. Tell us what you're doing there.
We're doing a signing event tonight. I'll be in conversation with one of my fellow author friends, and then both of the narrators who perform the audiobook of Wildside will be doing a live reading as well.
Oh,
Ooh, very nice. That's a good job.
that is a good job.
Yeah.
Could you read a romance novel?
Well, how?
You could do it.
Okay.
I have faith.
He's like, how do you talk? How do you
um,
talk on a romance novel?
How wild are we getting in Wild Side?
Well, you know, it's a slow burn, so
Okay.
there's a lot of development, but it does come to kind of a screeching halt.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Sounds fascinating.
It sounds fascinating.
Great having you on.
Thanks for having
And
me.
congrats on all the success of
Yeah.
your books. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you. I appreciate that.
Her newest book, Wild Side, available now. And sorry, you can't get tickets for the Strand event. It is sold out.
You
But-
could look through the window.
Yes, exactly.
All right.